Of course, the better way to do this task is by using delta y. That's because we only need to give delta y some initial value just as 3, which means let's fall down, let's increase y when we are falling. And it is going to be really easy here in Keyup to change the value of delta y to what it was so far, but with sign minus. If this is scary evaluation for you, we can place a 0 here, but it's the same, so this is going to mean I want the delta y to be the same number, but with the opposite sign. If it was positive to become negative, it was negative. If it was negative to become positive. And this is the value that we are going to add to my y. So let's see what is going on now. Yay, this looks pretty great. I'm really happy with it. Of course, there was a possibility that I'm not so clever and I could not imagine this crazy line of code. So one way to do it was to have if with an else. This is going to be really much longer. If delta y is bigger than 0, let's make it smaller than 0. So let's make it minus 1. Otherwise, let's make it plus 1. If it was negative number, let's make it the positive number 1. So this is going to work just the same, and you can see how much longer it is. And I also forgot that my initial speed was 3, but instead I change it here to minus 1 or plus 1. So this way is much worse. I can make it longer and more horrible on one more spot. I can ruin everything, even here in the update. I can make checks. I hope you wonder what the hell am I doing now. Well, I'm going to show you some other ways to. For now, I'm just showing you harder ways to do the same task, but soon I will offer you something different than the normal gravity guy, in which releasing a key changes our direction. So what I can write here is just like this. So if delta y is bigger than 0, let's make my y to be my y plus 1 or 3, I forgot what I want. Otherwise, my y to be my y minus 3. And I can make these two depend on whether delta y is bigger than 0 or whether is the player going down. And yes, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start using this variable. So is the player going down is going to be initially true. And I want to change it here in Keyup. And if I'm stupid, I can change it like this. Why, if I'm stupid, is there a shorter way to write this? Is there a shorter way to say I want is the player going down to change its value to the opposite? Is there a way to do it? Is there a way to get the opposite of a boolean, just like the minus sign gives us the opposite of a number. Do you remember it? Yes, we got it was long ago, sorry, I have to go back a lot of versions ago. So here we used the minus sign to get the opposite of a number. And do we have some similar line to get the opposite of a boolean? Yeah, I want you to see your sheet of paper with all our knowledge. Take it in your hands. And perhaps when we learned about the Boolean signs, there was a special sign that gets the opposite of a Boolean. Yes, this was the exclamation mark. If I just write, is the player going down, to become not, is the player going down? Well, is this going to solve the whole problem? Can I delete all of this? I will put it in a comment. Let's see if it is still working. Did I just succeed to make something shorter finally? Well, not really. I totally failed to move in the up direction for some reason. Can you see a reason why my player is not going up? I will hope that this line of code is executing, and in this line of code I am going up. So I'm going to write here my y. First I'm going to write I entered going up. В диск 9 пак. Там са ми всичките видеа. I'm going to print I entered going up, and I'm also going to print my y. So let's see what is going on. Well, I am entering the curly brackets to go up, the curly brackets of the else, and I would expect my y to decrease because of this line of code, but for some reason my y is not decreasing. This is really crazy. I'm really scared what is going on now. Well, not really, I know what my problem is, but I guess you're really scared. So I'm going to pretend that I don't know my problem, and I'm going to continue debugging it just like I expect you to do when you have a similar problem that you don't know what is the reason for. So I'm going to take this console log and place it before my line of code. I would really expect that here, initially, my y has some value, and after this line of code, it gets a different value, smaller, with 3. This would mean that my movement going up is somehow working, regardless of the fact that it's not working and I'm just stopping. So let's see what's happening. What? So it is really working. This line of code is really code. It is really executed. It is really working, and it is decreasing my y. But for some reason my y is stuck on those numbers. What could be going on? Well, apparently there needs to be some other code that changes my y back. Is this possible? Well, now that I told you, it's really easy to find a line of code that is actually increasing my y just after we decrease it. So this line of code is always decreasing my y, and if we are already going down, we are going down double speed. But if we are going up, this line of code stops us. So I will going to delete this line of code because we would not want to use both delta y and is the player going down. So I'm just going to leave is the player going down to command the player. Let's see what is going on now. And you can see that again my code is working. I can switch directions just by key up. I'm happy with all the versions that we've done. And I want you to make a really small change by yourself. First, try everything that I've done. I really hope you tried the version with delta y because it's the best one. And I want you to check this version too because I want you to make a small change to it. I want to not check this boolean variable is the player going down that we change in key up in this crazy good way. In the third mode that I want you to write today, again the player can just fall down or fall up, but in order for the player to fall up, you need to hold the spacebar key. So in this mode you will need to use is key pressed, and only when is key pressed the player should go up. I want you to move the player down and move him sometimes up, depending of is key pressed. Is key pressed, of course, is our way to understand if a specific key is currently pressed, and we can use, for example, key 38 or key 40 or key 32. Those are space or both left up and down arrows. So select a key that sounds good to you and use it to command the player going up or down.